Let's take a look at the standard button menu that appears on every module. So if we go into Company, we've got a button menu up here: New, Delete, Find, Find All, Omit, Sort and Print. So New, when we're in browse mode, which is browsing through records, will create a new record, and we can fill that in there. Delete will delete the current record. The ability to control who can delete records can also be done in Setup, in User Preferences and Access Privileges. Find will give you a blank find screen where we can search on absolutely anything. Find All, when we're in browse mode, will show all records. Currently we have all records in the found set, so this is dimmed out. But if we were to, for example, omit a couple of records, then the Find All button becomes active. At the moment there's 21 out of 23 records in the found set. Clicking Find All will mean that all records are in the found set. And if we click on List, you can also see the full found set in that list with the same button menu up the top. The Omit button will omit the current record from the found set. You can also do that from the list screen. So let's say you're looking at a list here and you want to omit certain records from being in the found set. Then click on a line to highlight that line, click Omit, and it omits that from the found set. The Sort button will bring up a sort dialog box where it defaults to the current layout, which is the list screen, and the fields that are on that layout. So for example, we could sort by the company name, then click on Sort. You can also sort on the list screen by clicking any of the headers: contact, phone. The Print button will print based on the current screen that you're in. So if you're on a list screen, when you click on Print, you can put a heading as well on the printed document. And that will bring up a print version of the list screen. If we're on a data entry screen, well, then Print will do a different option. For example, if we're in Sales Invoices and we click on Print, it's going to print the sales invoice. So going back into Companies, the top button menu acts differently in Find mode. So if we click on Find, we can do multiple find requests within the one find by clicking on New. So let's say we want to find a company that has the word ABC in it. We can also click New, and at the same time we can specify that we don't want to find any companies that are inactive. So we'd click Inactive, we click Omit, and then we'd perform Find by clicking Continue. And that would search on any companies with ABC, but that they must be active. Other options in Find mode are that you can cancel out of a find by clicking Cancel. So if we go back into Find again, the Omit checkbox I just showed you there, where, for example, in a multiple find request, you can specify for a particular find that you want to omit any of those records with that matching criteria. The Constrain button in Find mode means that based on the current found set that you have in browse mode, let's say you've got 100 records, then if you do a search and instead of clicking Continue, you can click Constrain based on the find criteria, and that will reduce down the found set based on the find, but only on the 100 records that were in the found set. The Extend button is the opposite of Constrain, where it'll extend the current found set, holding on to that found set but adding any new criteria that you've just searched on. Also worth noting that in Find mode we've got these operators over on the right hand side here. So let's say we click into company name, and we can say we want to find any company with an exact match of company ABC. If we click continue, only records that have company ABC in them will be searched on. So there's various options here, and by hovering over any of these icons, it'll give you a tooltip of what it actually does. For example, we could search on dates less than a specific date, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or we could search on a date range, for example in sales invoices, where we put in the initial date and you click on this button and then you put in the end date in the same field.